Most men buy a polo shirt the same way they buy lunch, whatever's in front of them, whatever has the most recognizable name. Today we are cutting through 5 brands living off a reputation they stopped earning years ago. And then the 3 brands most men have never heard of that are actually worth the money. Starting with the worst offender. Number 5. Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy Hilfiger was acquired by PVH Corporation in 2010, the same parent company that owns Calvin Klein, and the acquisition fundamentally changed the brand's relationship with quality. Today, a standard Tommy Hilfiger polo retails between $60 and $100. The fabric is a polyester cotton blend manufactured primarily in Vietnam and Bangladesh through third-party contracts, with no disclosed fabric specification, no thread count, and no mill provenance on any product page. The quality has followed the manufacturing logic. Consumer complaint records going back to 2024 consistently flag color discoloration after a single wear, seam failure within months, and collars that lose their structure after a handful of washes. The brand's own website describes its polo fabric as expertly crafted piqué and stretch cotton, which sounds specific but contains zero verifiable information. What you are actually buying is the flag logo and the memory of what Tommy Hilfiger meant in 1994. Neither of those things holds a collar in place. The logo is doing all the work the fabric should be doing. Number 4. Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss positions itself as accessible luxury. A standard Boss polo retails between $95 and $150, high enough that the buyer expects quality, not just style. The brand does use cotton, and the cuts are genuinely well designed. But the gap between the price and the construction has widened consistently over the past decade. Verified customer reviews on Trustpilot describe polo shirts and tees as subpar and unappealing fabric, with one buyer summarizing a $1,000 spend squandered on inferior material. An analyst at Fashion Dive noted in 2025 that Hugo Boss's shifting brand philosophy had left it in a no-man's land, no longer premium enough to justify its prices, no longer accessible enough to attract volume buyers. The consistent issue is fabric thinness. Multiple independent reviews describe the cotton as feeling light in a way that does not reflect the price. For a brand charging $120 for a polo, the material should have substantial body. It frequently does not. You are paying for the Boss badge and the European branding, not for the weight or durability of what is on your back. Number 3. Gant. Gant has one of the most confused brand identities in menswear. Founded in New Haven in 1949 as a shirt maker for Brooks Brothers and J. Press, Gant was genuinely excellent for the first 2 decades of its existence. Then, the original family sold it. Then, it went defunct. Then, it was revived by a Swedish licensee in the 1980s who built it into a desirable European brand. Then, it changed ownership again. Today, Gant is Swiss-owned and manufacturing is split across China, Portugal, Turkey, and Malaysia with no consistent quality standard across batches. The result is a brand where quality is, in the words of multiple experienced buyers on menswear forums, a crapshoot. Verified customer reviews describe collars that hole within months, colors that fade after the first wash, and sizing that has changed so many times that previously, loyal customers cannot predict what they will receive. One long-term customer wrote in 2024, "Quality control is now non-existent at Gant. Polos retail between $70 and $110, mid-market pricing for what has become a lottery. The heritage is real. The product no longer is." Number 2. U.S. Polo Association. This one requires a hard stop. U.S. Polo Association is not Polo Ralph Lauren. It is not affiliated with Polo Ralph Lauren. It is the official brand of the United States Polo Association, the governing body of the sport. And it has operated as a licensed apparel brand since 1982, producing polo shirts at the budget end of the market. Retail prices run between $20 and $45. The fabric is a standard polyester cotton blend with no quality disclosure beyond the care label. The problem is not the price, At $25, no one expects Sea Island cotton. The problem is that U.S. Polo Association actively benefits from visual confusion with Ralph Lauren. The logo, a mounted polo player, is deliberately similar. The brand name contains the word polo. Millions of men buy this product every year believing they are adjacent to something premium when they are buying a licensed mass-market garment with no connection to any heritage of quality. Know what you are buying before you hand over money for it. Number 1. Emporio Armani. Emporio Armani sits at the top of the never buy list because the gap between price and value is the most egregious. A standard Emporio Armani polo retails between $150 and $250. The fabric on a typical entry-level polo from this line is a viscose polyester blend, a material that costs a fraction of the cotton piqué used by brands a third of the price. The Emporio line is the diffusion tier of the Armani brand hierarchy, sitting below Giorgio Armani and Armani Collezioni, and it is manufactured through licensing agreements that prioritize the logo over the garment. What you are paying for is the eagle logo on the chest and the word Armani on the label. The construction does not justify $200. The fabric does not justify $200. The only thing at $200 is the branding. Emporio is a different product for a different buyer, one who wants the name without reading the label. Read the label. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this. Drop a comment with the brand that surprised you most. Now, 3 brands that actually justify their price. Hidden Gem 1. Sunspel Riviera Polo. Sunspel was founded in Nottingham in 1860 and has been making polo shirts since the 1950s. Its Riviera Polo is built from extra-long staple Supima cotton using a proprietary cellular mesh fabric developed by Sunspel in the 1950s and still produced on 70-year-old warp knitting machines at a family-owned factory in Barcelos, Portugal, because no modern machine produces the same result. The Supima cotton is traceable to the specific Californian farm of origin, which is published. The construction is documented. The factory is named. In 2006, costume designer Lindy Hemming chose this polo for Daniel Craig's James Bond debut in Casino Royale, not for the name, but because it held its shape and performed through physical sequences. It retails at $175. That is more than the Emporio Armani polo above, and every penny of the difference is in the fabric and construction, not the logo. There is no eagle on the chest. There is no branding at all beyond a small Sunspel tab. This is a polo you buy once and wear for a decade. Hidden Gem 2, Lacoste L12.12. The polo shirt was invented by René Lacoste in 1933. Not inspired by. Invented. The original L.12.12, named for the 12th prototype of the 12th fabric tested, introduced cotton petit piqué to sportswear, a fabric knitted under 2 levels of tension to create a honeycomb surface that circulates air and resists compression. Every polo shirt produced since 1933 by every brand on this list is a descendant of this garment. Lacoste still makes the L.12.12 today, and the construction is disclosed on the product page. 20 kilometers of thread per shirt, a crocodile logo sewn with 2,367 embroidery stitches, mother-of-pearl buttons. These are not marketing claims, they are verifiable production facts. At $100 to $130, the L.12.12 sits at a fair price for what it delivers. The collar does not curl, the piqué does not pill. The color holds through years of washing. You are buying the original from the brand that invented the garment at a markup that reflects craft rather than advertising. The crocodile is not a logo. It is a construction certificate. Hidden Gem 3, Perry M12. Fred Perry founded his brand in 1952. He was the last British man to win Wimbledon before Andy Murray in 2013. The M12 polo was built directly from Perry's own courtwear, a tipped collar, ribbed cuffs, and a laurel wreath embroidered on the left breast. Those design elements have not changed in over 70 years. The M12 uses cotton piqué and is produced in England and Portugal, with Portuguese production noted consistently as the superior construction by experienced buyers. Retailing between $100 and $130, the M12 is heavier in hand than most competitors at the same price. The collar sits firmly. The tipping on the collar and cuffs adds structural reinforcement that prevents the wilting that kills cheaper polos within a season. Fred Perry has built loyalty across mod culture, skinhead culture, Britpop, and streetwear, not through paid placement, but because the garment survives. A polo that has outlasted multiple subcultures will outlast your wardrobe rotation without complaint. The difference is simple. Some brands sell you a logo, these sell you a shirt. One rule applies across all three. Buy the classic colorway, navy, white, or racing green. Not the seasonal collaboration. A polo built to last will last. The ones built to be replaced will replace themselves on your credit card statement every 18 months. Choose accordingly.